to Franklin, but asking us to be sure to record it because they want to look at this and be in the know about what's going on with the 2026 show season. So we're looking forward to it, and we're glad that you guys are here. And thank you to Walking Horse Club KY, the Roaches, for filming this for the ones who can't be here. I think we'll get a lot of knowledge out of that. So we're going to start with a quick update from APHIS, the USDA, and Bernadette Morris. Thank you so much for being here to do that.
Good morning. It's good to see folks. I know I have a lot of responsibilities as show manager, so I'm going to try to focus on what I think is most important from the perspective of the Horse Protection Act. Yesterday I met, yes. How's that? Better? Okay, all right. So yesterday I met with the trainers, and I was describing the fact that I'm back at this position for the second time. And it's not often that a leader gets 2 bites at the apple. And I really have spent some time thinking about how I can do a better job overseeing the Horse Protection Act and working with the industry to try to achieve our goal of ending soaring and ensuring fair competition. And I realized that one of the shortcomings I had the first go around was not ensuring that I met with every group that plays a role in ending soaring and ensuring fair competitions, including show managers like you. When you're affiliating a show, it's really important that you, if you're going to use a DQP service or an HIO, that you pick one that has a thorough inspection that ensures that you have the best horses in the ring and that sore horses are not in the ring. And it's such an important responsibility that Congress actually built it into the statute and provided that responsibility to you as show managers. It's a very unique provision in our Horse Protection Act, and it's there because Congress recognized that in order to end soaring and ensure fair competition, that the industry had to play the large role and the key role in doing that. In fact, when we first started enforcing the Horse Protection Act back in 1970, the show manager did not have that role, and things didn't go very well. And so they specifically amended the act in 1976 to ensure that show managers played a role in enforcing the Horse Protection Act. So I just want to make sure that you understand what a key place you have in the enforcement team of the Horse Protection Act, and to encourage you to do your research and make sure that the DQPs that you're selecting for your show, or the horse industry organization that you're selecting for the show, is the best one. It may not always be the one that the trainers want, but it may be the best one for you and for helping us achieve our objectives under the Horse Protection Act. So I just wanted to kind of start with encouraging you in that way, and now I plan to give you a little preview of what you can expect from us when we come to a show this season. So in the past several years, there's been quite a lot of litigation, as you probably know, between the USDA and the industry. And we remain in a position where USDA is not enforcing the SCAR rule or requiring HIOs and DQPs to enforce the SCAR rule. We also aren't enforcing the no-show back policy that used to exist. And what that means for you as a show manager is that if you disqualify a horse from a class because the DQP lets you know that it's sore, that horse is able to present for a subsequent class at the same show if it's a multi-day show. So previously, prior to last year, if a horse was disqualified at your show and it was a multi-day show, they were out for the entire show. So that's changed. The other thing that you'll see less of is USDA taking the lead in inspections. This year we will focus on working with the DQPs to ensure consistent inspections, no matter who's inspecting the horse. So we will be mostly observing their performance. We'll be selecting horses if we have concerns about the way the DQP inspected the horse, But otherwise, you should expect to see the DQPs principally being the ones who are doing the inspections. You're probably used to that anyway, because when we're not there, that's the case. So those are a couple of the key changes. In addition, I've asked my team to review with you at the beginning of the show what your obligations are under the Horse Protection Act. I know that in the past we've done that in a way where it hasn't been as much of a two-way conversation as I'd like it to be. There was a video camera that was focused on show managers that I find to be chilling in terms of having good conversations. And so we will not be using the camera this year when we visit with you. We will leave behind a list of things that you're already doing, but just as a reminder. And I would also like to start the practice of just closing out with you before we leave the show, if we're able to find you. I know that you all are running around making sure everything is going well. I do think it's helpful for us to let you know how things went in inspection so that you have a sense of that. So that's what you can expect from USDA this year. I really encourage you to participate across the industry in the quest for enforcing the Horse Protection Act and ending soaring and ensuring fair competition. It's going to take every single person rowing in that same direction, and I really think that if we work together, we can achieve this. It's been tried many, many times. I'll spare you the history lesson that the trainers got yesterday. I started in 1976 and moved all the way to the present, and there have been at least 5 efforts of the industry's attempt to come together with a unified approach for judging, standards, inspections, and penalties, and it has never been successful. And I hope that we can prove that the 6th time is a charm, and that we can actually get some momentum and work to achieve that vision of having a singular approach for overseeing this industry. You've wanted it many times. I think it would be very useful, and I think it would do a lot in terms of the public's acceptance and impression of the work that you're doing as an industry to ensure that you have a sound force. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your work. I look forward to seeing you at shows this year.
I have one more question. On the show back rule, you said that only has multi-day shows, right? So one-night shows, if you were disqualified in class 1, could you represent in class 10?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same night is okay.
Same night's okay. Yes, I'm sorry. You're only disqualified from the class in which the inspection took place.
No matter what venue you leave, so horse and keep show backwards and then go back.
Well, you can present the horse for inspection in another class. If it passes then it gets to show.
It's not a question of comment. I think the video was really helpful. I'm probably a little bit unique because I work with you all, HIO, but also the show manager. But I think most show managers speak once a year. If they're not comfortable asking more questions or anything, if they just stand in the face, I think that's a really good thing.
I hate being on camera too, so I totally appreciate that you don't want that in your face. So thank you so much.
Doctor, for those of us that have had the camera in our face, that's awesome. Bernadette, thank you so much. I mean, I think not only are your words encouraging for this show season, but the fact that you're here this weekend really is even more encouraging to me. So thank you for taking the time to do this.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
So we're going to go today. One of the things we talked about, we said we're going to talk about today is a new entry system that a lot of us are going to use. So this system is one that Celebration is adopting. Dean Cantrell and Rob Pikes are adopting it for their shows. We're going to adopt it for FWEMA shows, for our World Versatility Championship and stuff. So I'm really excited. They're still working on all the parts that are going to customize it and make it available for us. So I really put Sarah Smith on the spot she's on the spot. But I really put her on the spot to kind of give us a little glimpse into it, because I think a lot of what we're going to talk about in a second, a lot of the comments we received from people on what makes, a good horse show great and what keeps them coming back and things that they really appreciate. It shows a lot of what people have suggested can be done with this system. So I wanted you to get a chance of it as you start planning your shows. You can look into it. It's something that anybody can go to, and I'm going to let Sarah talk about it. Sarah's the entry office manager for the celebration, and she did an extraordinary amount of research to find the system that was best customizable and the best fit for our industry. So I think she found a great one, and I'm excited for her to share it with you. Entry system that a lot of us are going to use. So this system is one that Celebration is adopting. Deacon Trail and Rock Lights are adopting it for their shows. We're going to adopt it for Tweeba shows, for our World War Stilly Championship and stuff. So I'm really excited. They're still working on all the parts that are going to customize it and make it available for us. So I really put Sarah Smith on the spot she's on the spot. But I really put her on the spot to kind of give us a little glimpse into it, because I think a lot of what we're going to talk about in a second, a lot of the comments we received from people on what makes, a good horse show great and what keeps them coming back and things that they really appreciate. It shows a lot of what people have suggested can be done with this system. So I wanted you to get a chance of it as you start planning your shows. You can look into it. It's something that anybody can go to, and I'm going to let Sarah talk about it. Sarah's the entry office manager for the celebration, and she did an extraordinary amount of research to find the system that was best customizable and the best fit for our industry. So I think she found a great one, and I'm excited for her to share it with you.
All right, I don't know, some of you can see my face or you haven't. I'm Sarah from Allen Teenage, and I did not work for Walmart. So it's great to see all of you. Several of you have probably gone through your emails at some point in time. Could be great information, great feedback from the shows that we've done. Like Mark said, we are working with Rob and several other people that were involved with getting this program for us started and the ball rolling. I don't know if any of you did the show that did Ring Radar. We kind of turned away from them. They're a great program, unfortunately, because the in-depth and the reporting of the things that we need for USDA and specific items just for our shows in general, because we have flash shot and have performance and things along those lines. Ring Radar, we had a lot of pushback if they didn't want to change the program. So that's when I did my research and started reaching out to other programs. The great thing for us is HorseBlock is available 24/7. So if you have any questions at any time, you can send an email or phone call to them. It's Michael and Lindsay Leonard. They are the head. Chris Leonard is the husband of Lindsay Leonard, and she is the head for him. He does all the programming. So if you are interested in doing a one-night show with them, their program will work on limited resources, limited internet access. So if you're in Pulaski and down in a holler, you can do Starlink, anything, cell phone service should link up good. Rob did want to let everyone know, because I'm talking to Rob almost every day at this point, working out reports and things along those lines, that the National Trainer Show, the Fast Spring Showcase, the Walking in the Smokies, the Fun Show, which is with the celebration, the Columbia Spring Jubilee, Walking for Cancer, which is going to be a one-night show, Germantown Charity Horse Show, the Money Tree Classic, the Celebration, United Fall Finale, and of course the Fall Classic will all be running on the HorseBlock program. So we're hoping some of the smaller shows will want to adopt this HorseBlock program to use for their system. I'll pull this up for you. So there is a step-for-step walkthrough process. Rob should have this live on Enter My Walking Horse get your people, your riders, and your horses registered. And this will translate over to any of the shows that you're going to be in. The only thing that will not translate over is going to be your Coggins and health certificates. They will translate for like the National Trainer Show, the Bash Ring Showcase, and things along those lines, but they will not translate over to the Celebration Show because they're on 2 IP addresses. They are working currently to try to fix that so that they can connect all of the horse show programs, or shows, I should say. But right here, I don't know if y'all can see this very well, but if you go to thehorsepot.com, there's going to be, Mark, can I use thehorsepot.com in this tab?
The horsepot.net.
Or, yes, horsepot.net.
Like other.com. So this is what it looks like when you go to horsespot.net. All the login information, so when you create an account, it is completely free to the customer. So you would hit login, and you can sign up down at the bottom, or you can use your Gmail account. Just be mindful if you use your Gmail account, it's going to save that Gmail email, so it won't be a separate email. Just as a heads up, because the programmers, they did let me know that some people do forget that they sign up with their Gmail account, and sometimes it causes an issue that try to log in separately. But that's what it's going to look like, and you sign up. It's very simple. You can either do your Yahoo, AOL, Bell South, the ancient emails pop down. You can sign up with that and create your own password to create that. But once you're in, this is what it's going to look like. Down here. And they've got step-by-step instructions, so this, like I said, this should be live on MyWalkHorse.com. But she's got step-by-step instructions and a video. Or you can contact myself or Rob after the first 2 shows to help you walk through it. Because we're still in the process of working all the kinks out of the program and adding more reporting and links to help our system. And it's going to be, I don't want to say dumbed down, but it's going to remove, because they focus on Arabians and hunter-jumper shows, so they're going to remove some of that from their program. So when you log in as a walking horse entity, it's going to remove those extra things so you won't have to see them. Hey, Sarah, could people like start setting up their accounts now knowing that they're going to
Yes.
use it, or should they wait till they have all of the walking horse stuff done?
So you can go ahead, this video is what's on there, and you can also, iPads is not linked yet, but you can go ahead and link your account with iPads with your horse, and it'll say Tennessee Walking Horse Breeders Association, and you can put your horse registration number in. It should be live by the trainer show. As of this moment in time, it'll just say, it'll just pop up red. You can still hit save, and it'll put that horse's information in there for you. For the individual, you can do, stop it. You don't have to put all their information in. You don't have to put an email for your riders if you don't know it, or owners. You can put their, for us, it's very important to have their addresses and be correct. So if you could try to put that in, as best to your knowledge. It will flag us if it is incorrect with the TWIBA association, so And it's not gonna be per horse, it's gonna be per entry, so if you have a horse that's entered 10 times, you're only gonna get that entry fee once.
Per horse, not
Yes, not per entry. Yes, ma'am. Did you have the same question?
Well, mainly it's about the cost. I didn't know, are you far enough along, like, demonstrate, so, like, what it would look like? Would they load a flash? Is this going to integrate with some of the things Rob's doing? or-
Yes, it'll be exactly what, so our shows and any of the shows that Rob and Dee run, they will be the exact same. So you're not gonna have to transfer that information across to different platforms. It's all gonna be on one, so it should transfer, if you've got the horse and person associated together, it should when you start populating in that information. And whenever you enter a horse, say you want to enter a horse for 5 classes, it's got a section where you can just add those classes. You're not gonna have to repeat that step process over and over and over again, like you had to do with the job. So it's gonna be very simplified and much easier, and you can remove them as easy as you put them in case you may say, need to be in class 32 projection, you only put 33, you can easily remove that class on your end.
The show managers would enroll in this and load their flash sheet in this?
You load your class sheet into this system, especially for a one-night show. I'm more than welcome to.
And does it export back out to Excel?
Yes, it will export out to Excel.
One-night shows have used Rob's service for people to submit increases and everything. We don't pay them a lot, so I'm not complaining, but it comes back as PDF and you gotta turn around and type it all.
Yes, so it does export so there is a reporting system. It's a whole report section, and you can click which reports that you want, and it will come out as an Excel file, and you can opt to have it as a PDF, but it gives you the option of both.
It's gonna let you, the reports that they're customizing for it will allow you, as one of the reports, to print out a class sheet once all the entries are in, just like the class sheets we need to have the names and addresses and everything on. But I think your question, like where Rob's old online thing, you would have to
I don't know about
But
that.
some person does that take his thing, they sit there and pre-type it all.
No,
There's
you
no
don't have to.
pre-typing. When they enter it, they're entering it into this system, into your entry system.
But you gotta have internet access
So,
and,
yes, you have to have limited internet access, so if you connect to a hotspot or a cell phone service, it will still work.
and a fee per horse to use it.
Yes,
Okay.
so we try to cut the cost down as much as possible.
And does it work on an app? Like a
Yes, it
program?
does work on an app. It's very user-friendly, and it does, like Ring Radar, it does the scoring in live time. So if you're logged in on your iPad, your phone, it will give you those live updates, and you can also enter your horses through an app too. So if you're not going to sit down at a laptop, you can do that through your phone.
And does it require each trainer or person making entries to do their own electronic entry, or is there option for show managers?
Yes, it does give you the option. I actually did run the full fall classic from the celebration in the system already. So we didn't have any hiccups with anybody in the tie or anything. It gives us, say there is a tie, it flags it, it highlights it all in green or yellow, I believe.
That's not what I mean.
No.
What I meant was like, if Margot can't.
No, I'm getting to it.
And
So-
she brings me something and said, hey, it worked at the time of the show.
Yes, so.
Can I pack in and add her?
So if you do that, what I was trying to get at is when you're on that screen, say somebody comes into the ring and it gets somebody misses it, you can, on the screen, you can add them from that screen while they're in there. You don't have to go back 10 steps to get that horse added.
And people like
You're
people who want to do it manually.
Yes, people that are doing paper
I'm
entries, you
instead of
can do.
pre-entering, then you enter it in the show. And I'll go
Yes,
in.
yes, you can.
That's what she's saying, she did the fall classic, so she went back and did a whole.
I did all the
You can
paper
still
entries
do it.
for the Fall Classic, and I did the online because it was on the jot. So I did all of those online on my end as the show manager. I entered all of those manually, so you can do that. So the show starts at 6, and you've got people up at 5:30 entering horses. You can manually enter those horses, or they can do it on their phone, and it'll pop on the screen, and you just check them in.
And will people who may maybe had, I know some people have complex accounting systems, the way they split it up. But people, like if I come and I'm bringing 2 horses and showing them each in one class, and I'm coming to a one-night horse show, when I make my entries, can I just pay right then and be done?
Yes, you can pay right then, you can pay on they can pay on their app, they can pay with credit card. It's up to the show managers how they want to do that.
So you can turn it on and off. You can
Yes.
say, no credit card advance, or, again, I assume you have to like link it to Stripe or something like
You can link it with Stripe, or you can have the option to hold that individual's credit card on file and take it at the end of your show or when they're ready to pay after they've shown. Or if they come with a check or cash, you have the option to do check or cash. So, and they have the option when they sign up to say, I'm bringing a check, but I'm going to put a credit card on file. So they have that option so that you can take that check when they get to the grounds.
And if you do more than one horse show, like if my horse if I enter at the trainer show, is my dad saved? So then if I'm on the
Yes,
show with
so
them-
your data will be saved. The only thing that will not be saved is the Coggins. The Coggins will not transfer, and the health certificates, so things along those lines, they won't transfer, but they will save. So for instance, you enter for the Spring Fun Show, that Coggins and health certificate, things along those lines, will save all the way down to the celebration and the fall show, as long as they're valid. They'll save in there. They just won't because the IP addresses are different for the trainer show versus the celebration shows. That's the reason it's not saving. They are trying to work on that where it links it across the board.
Celebration, the State Department has really asked us to do a better job. So this is one reason for us to try to ask that we don't all be made the same. So if they for the fun show, we will have the celebration, right?
Yes, we will have it for the celebration. You can also you can still email into the show office, and you can still bring physical paper copies, because I know some that still do the old school paper copies. You can still scan those and upload them into the file. You don't have to, and those will still save across, even if we're entering them into the show. Yes, ma'am.
At the celebration, we all have like one horse, maybe 6 classes. So, and then I've got,
You can have, that one horse can have 6 riders.
plus, do I need to enter that horse in class 3 6 different times?
No, ma'am.
Well, do like the celebration does now, I put all the classes in, and then I put the number beside the
Yes, so once you hit enter, you enter that horse, it'll take you to a screen that'll have all the information of that horse and all the riders, and you can select which rider is riding that horse, and say, you're riding that horse in 4 different classes. Well, you can select your name and put those 4 classes in and hit save, and it'll automatically upload them.
The other question I had was electronic signature, or do we still sign?
It will have electronic signature for your trainer's information. Yes, there's a $1 fee for any electronic signature, but the electronic signature is for any document that they're signing. So if you have 10 documents that they need to sign, it's only a $1 fee for all those documents.
And it's still just, if it shows up, it's electronic signature, and decide to keep up their own signature.
Yes,
If we put it on the credit card.
right. Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, guys, 2 questions. We're sorry.
No, you're fine.
So one is, because people barn hop, so like if I create a profile of horses in my barn, and then Margot's got the same horses, is it gonna keep like multiple people from having the same?
It
horse?
should not. That is something that me and Rob have worked very diligently with Horse Spot with, to try to
And
let
then,
them know that there could possibly be multiple trainers for this one horse. So they are currently working on that.
and then what's the integration with iPads gonna look like? Is that gonna be real time? Is it gonna be
Yes, ma'am, it'll be
And-
real time, and when it comes over to the show management side, if anything is incorrect, you can generate a report and you can send it to any of Mark's team or directly to Mark. But on our side, on the show management side, it'll show everything in red. They'll say, hey, this name's not right, hey, this horse's name's not right, or maybe the registration number's not right, so that you can go back and check. If it is right, or say the horse just sold, it's going to show red until I think it's midnight that it updates that information. But it should stay the same. Or if somebody put in a typo, it'll let you know. Maybe they put an extra E in the horse's name, and they still submitted it, even though it said, hey, this isn't the right horse, because they should be able to search by the registration number, and it can pull that information in to the login side.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We all have procrastinated. That if I go by one today, sometimes, Mark, it'll be 6 months before it gets put in the right
Year.
Yeah. What
Right.
happens is it's going to pull that current on.
So it'll pull that current owner. We are going to pull a report, and we're going to send it off to TWEBA, and they're going to start making phone calls. That's what we did last year for the celebration.
Yeah, you can override it, but the thing is, we'll still have a report at the end to say, hey, these were overridden and were different than what y'all have, so we can follow up and say, hey, you want to transfer this, so we'll send you a reminder.
Yeah, so that's very helpful. It helped a lot with the celebration.
And so I'll say one thing on the celebrations we have. So a lot of times, you all enter a horse and maybe has an apostrophe S, but in the actual registration it doesn't, or maybe you want your wife to be an owner, or you want the whole family to be an owner, but in registration it's not. So going forward, we are only going to do what we ask on that record. We're not going to make changes to make the program look different. One of the main reasons why we've invested so much in the celebration, invested so much time in this, is you all want the entry deadline to be later and closer to the show. This is the only way we can do that, is have all online entries and have it linked strictly to iPads. The other thing is, last year we had an owner put down a horse that was on suspension. Was no longer the owner, and I had to grab that horse as it was walking through the entry gate, trying to get it all figured out at that moment. So all that's going in this year. Whatever's in iPads is what it is. If you haven't changed the owner and the owner's on suspension, it's not.
And in that situation, they actually had done the transfer, right?
Yes. the
Yeah,
transfer
They had
payment
done it,
was
but they
made.
didn't change it with the celebration, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it still shows that the suspended owner was on file, and that's what we had to give to the USDA because they requested it.
And as you all know, as show managers, you're responsible for letting a violation go through the ring or not. So I wasn't comfortable with the trainer put down a different owner.
Will Lisa's transfer, will the Lisa show up as ownership?
That it, and you guys have the ability now, because if me and you own a horse together, it shows up on both of our profiles and iPad. But there's a field that when you register it or when you transfer it, you can write out exactly how you want it to say. That's what's printed on the certificate and stuff. It can say, Farron Coleman LLC. It can say Mark Farron, Susan Coleman. It can say, F&C Incorporated, whatever. So, there's already that availability. You just got to pay attention to it.
When somebody comes through, does a lease, nominate, and it goes like, I lease my horse, it would show up in my name. They'll put it when it costs time.
Lost your check list.
Does anybody else have any questions, or you're welcome to get with me after this whole thing and pick my brain? I'm more than happy to do that.
Will someone be offering some type of demonstration when it
Yes,
comes to
ma'am.
that point?
Myself and Rob are going to do Zoom meetings, or if you're here local, I'm more than happy for you to come to the celebration grounds, and I will walk you step by step on how to do that.
You got a computer class,
I got a computer class for everybody.
Well, Dee and Rob's kind of planning on maybe during the trainer show or something, scheduling times for people to come in and sit down, and he'll help you walk through, setting up your account and all that.
He did say, what he emailed me was after the first 2 shows, so that we get all the,
All right.
is that what he told you, Dee?
Yeah, what we're gonna do, Ron, we talked about that, and we're gonna contact all these 100 people. Basically,
Yes, ma'am.
that's the whole, that's.
We're trying to make it easier for everybody.
racing, I mean, really, this is the place to go. And of course, I guess it's so racing too, Rob, you know, he'll be there. You want him, Warren.
We're gonna set up a hill line.
We're gonna, this year will be best, all the way through November. We'll have to work it out. I do think though, for our industry, this is going to be really, really good.
It's one system, finally, it's universal for the whole industry, if they choose it, and we're all in it. And there is a fee, but that's all worked out.
And Dee, for the trainer show, how are you handling that fee?
All right, the fee for us, we're a multi-day show, so it's $5 per horse, not per entry. And what we're doing is, I just increased the entry fee by $5. Now, I don't, celebration's a little different, so I don't know how y'all are gonna do that, but, we did find out last week that in a non-multi-day show, that fee may be $3.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't that
Yes,
what
ma'am.
it said?
So they do make it cheaper for those one-night shows.
One night shows.
So there's a way to improve the efficiency of your office and it not cost you more
Not
money.
cost you 1 cent. You know, it's that's right.
But the trainer show is just the entry fee. You won't even, it's not even a line.
Oh, no, and then we pay that fee. I mean.
Yes, ma'am.
You won't even know it.
And just know that, so the other option we looked at, if you're worried about those $5, one option was for us to build our own system like Celebration had and spend $250,000 to build it. Then we were going to have to let other shows use it, so we were going to have to charge $10,000 to help us get our money back. So we think this is the right way to do it. And anytime we need upgrades, they're going to do it for us without a charge because they're going to want our business going forward. It will save the industry a lot more money this way, even though they feel like they'll pay a little bit more every horse. Ultimately, we had to do something.
And the system we tried at Tunica was $5 per entry, not per horse.
That's right.
And I mean, which, for Tunica, for a one-night show, it's not going to be a lot different. I mean, one-night show, So, one of the things when we were getting ready for this, we talked about, we asked folks on Facebook, what makes a horse show great, what keeps you coming back. But I called a bunch of people. I called a bunch of trainers. I called a bunch of exhibitors. I called people I know go to a lot of horse shows and asked them, what are the horse shows you go to every year that do things that are memorable, things that are a little outside the box, things that you don't see anywhere else, things that make you feel appreciated, things that, make you want to come back to the show next year. And I want to tell you, every single person I asked said that for us in the walking horse industry, that show was the North Carolina State Championship. So I've asked Myra Harrell to give us just a little rundown of some of the cool stuff they do and what they do for exhibitors, and then I'm going to go over the results of what other folks said, and I've got some handouts for you.
Good morning, as he said, I'm Myra Harrell, helping now, but I'll always be a Harrell.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Scott doesn't care. But anyway, and I do thank you, Mark. That's very humbling to me for those words that the trainer said that. I've been fortunate to be involved with management of the horse show, well, for over 30 years now, off and on. Took a break and got married, moved, and became a mother, and then come back. But anyway, at Asheville, the way I look at it, and all of our group, we want you, it's a big show, but we want you to feel like you've come home. We want you to feel like we appreciate you being there. And we have a lot of rooms we can grow and things we can do different to make it better. But one of the things we've added in, it is a big showground, that we do golf carts. If you cannot bring your side-by-side, you want a golf cart, I work with a lady, and she brings golf carts and we bring them to you for the week.
that has to be a week rate, we re-rent those. One thing that we started doing years ago is we do a basket for the trainers. And in there, we try to think out of the box as to what they needed. Because a lot of times on the showgrounds, you can't run and grab something. So we do like sewing kit. That's been a huge thing. When we added those, it was hilarious. When I walked through the window, I was like, hey, we popped the button and had the sewing kit out. So we have like sewing kit. We supply black paint, spray the horse's feet, hairspray, medical kit, Band-Aids, pen and paper. We just do all kind of different stuff, and of course candy. But we try to do a lot of different things that you may get on those showgrounds and you don't need, or you're at the horse show and something happens that you need. So we try to do different kind of things like that for people, and things that, like I said, that is different. We try to think of something different every year to add to it and to put it in a basket for everybody to have. On Wednesday night, we have, the trainers will be happy. We have fixed the class sheet this year. We're not going to be there till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm real tickled about that. But anyway, so after the show this time, we don't do an event thing after the show, but on Wednesday night, we do a wine and cheese party for everybody. Our Ladies Auxiliary sponsors that, and it's fun. This year we had live music. We had some people come up, and we try to do that for everybody that's there. You come to it. We just try to do like our VIP tables, our corporate tables. We do a dinner every night with them, and we try to do something different each night to be something nice for them to enjoy, and that's for 8 people at their table. And then for our regular just VIP tables, we try to give them a nice basket with goodies and different things like that. We just, like I said, we want you to feel like you're at home. We try to go out of the box with different things. We try to ask you, what do you need? And one thing I try to do in the mornings, and I'm not going to do it, I try to go around and make sure everybody's okay. Do you need something? Margaret, I'll probably drive y'all crazy, or Crystal, but I come around and try to see, what do you need? What's going on? How are things with you? And then everybody that's involved in this show, Terry Mosley's the bomb. She keeps our show office from Wednesday morning. She's our backbone. From Wednesday morning to Saturday night, she's in that show office. And so if you come in there and you decide that you're not going to show whatever, she takes it off. I mean, there's no closing that office. She's there to the bitter end for you if you need anything. And I think that makes a big difference, especially a show that size, that she keeps that open for you, which we do that at our one nights too, but that she keeps that open for you, and she's always there. And she's willing to work with you, on your bill. If you've got questions, you didn't have the entry or whatever, you've had too many entries on there, she's real good to work with you on all that. So our show office is really good. She does a wonderful job, like I said, in that. And I think that's the key to your show, as you were talking about with the entry system. It's the key to your show, that show office is strong. And, ours is very, because of Terry, and what else she does in that show office. But I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything. Like I said, we still have room for improvement, but I do appreciate the comments. Yes, we do try to have everything supplied. One thing we started doing a couple years ago is, as you kind of finalize your stalls with Kelly Duchelle, you give her the amount of shavings that you need. So when you pull on there, we're not in your way. When Crystal and them get there with 2 trailer loads of horses, we're not saying, oh, well, let me deliver your shavings. Your shavings are sitting there waiting on you. Just little things. I mean, it's, little things that we try to do to try to make it easier for the trainers and everybody getting there. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes. Just out of curiosity, how many people are actively participating on your horse show planning committee?
We have a horse show committee of about 8. We met the other day and went over our class sheet. It comes down, there's a group of us. I'm real fortunate which I met Scott at a horse show, but at that horse show actually, I'm real fortunate that my family backs me up. We go on the Saturday before and we start. And Terry comes, and then I've got a group that comes in middle of the week, and they come in, by Tuesday, and they come in and start helping. So we've got about 6 or 7 of us that are the core that go and do it. I've got people that park the campers, because we have a lot of campers over there. Year before last, we had 110 campers.
park the campers. I've got a group, we've got a group that does that, and then we've got a group that does the stalls, and then I handle the golf carts and all that like when you're getting there, because I'm gonna come see you anyway when you pull on ground. So if you've got a golf cart, we go get that and bring it to you. And then like Terry, like I said, she's got her girls in the office, and they're in there. So, yeah, no, and you work on it. I mean, like when I'm leaving Asheville, I'm already on like the next year. What we need to do better, what we need to change, what didn't work. And we work with hotels. We work with 2 hotels up there. We've worked with them for years, and they're really good to do with the blocks. They just always tell me, because we're always, and that's one thing this year, we've got messed up a little, not messed up, but Asheville always, and it has been for 50-some years, we are the 5th Saturday after Labor Day. Well, this year, the calendar changed, so we're going to be on the Racking celebration, but I mean, it's okay, but we can't help it, because the calendar moves, and the Ag Center has the big Mountain State Fair, and it's moves like we do, so we couldn't move our day. But anyway, so we always are, planning and trying to see what we can do to improve. And I'll take any kind of improvements, anybody, Margo, anybody, Crystal's been there that knows something we can do it different. That's great. Anybody else? I thank you guys.
Things that people mention over and over about Asheville, the welcome baskets that y'all give to all the trainers and barns, and the VIP tables. That's really the first place that I ever saw those. I mean, Asheville did those. Those have become really popular. I know Tunica, that's a big deal for us. I know celebration events, it's a big deal to have those VIP tables. The fast events at Cooper Still Arena have them. And honestly, I mean, I don't know why one night shows couldn't have them. I mean, it's become harder to sell your box seats. I mean, if you have tables and chairs available, maybe sell those as a VIP option. And quick thing for TWEMA, $250 youth grants are available if you have youth activities at your show or would like to have a youth activity. And I've got the applications up here. They're really simple. Just tell us what you plan to do. Those can be a youth scavenger hunt, a pizza party, a youth judging contest, whatever you want to do. We want to make sure that if kids come to your show, they've got something to do and they have a good time, and we're willing to sponsor $250. All you've got to do is have it, organize it, and send us photos and a little write-up after it that we can put in the Voice magazine. The other thing, it's free to affiliate with our International High Point program, and I encourage every show to do it. There's really not a reason not to, but it makes sure that your show records count toward the International High Point program for your exhibitors and our members, and also make sure that those results show up in iPads as a part of the horse's record, and make sure you're on our calendar of events. So we've got all kinds of handouts over there. She's got a checklist, she's got trainer show class sheets. I've got the results of kind of what folks have said makes a horse show unforgettable for them, and then those applications are all over here. So real quick, the past few days I asked exhibitors a simple question that, what makes your favorite show your favorite? What makes it one you don't want to miss? And what was funny to me is the responses were incredibly consistent. And it kind of stood out to me that it wasn't necessarily about bigger prize money, or it definitely was not about adding more classes. But it was about communication, organization, hospitality, and just overall respect for people's time that come to your show. Exhibitors want to know what's going on without having to chase somebody down to find it out. They want a strong gate crew to keep things moving. They want simple hospitality that makes them feel appreciated. And above all, they want a show that runs predictably and professionally. So some of these are fundamentals. I mean, once you, everybody's got to get a good judge. Everybody's got to get a class sheet. Everybody's got to, do all the stuff you've got to do to get your awards. But these are some of the things that folks said would help you step out. So I just want to give you a little glimpse of it and welcome your comments and questions. So we intended to do this as a panel, and Myra would be part of it, but my other panelists have had to drop out today. So I'm gonna run through it, and then again I've got a handout up here that tells you all of this. So number one, this is the big thing that everybody said. People repeatedly said that the best shows are the ones where exhibitors always know what's happening without trying to have to chase someone down. So strong communication. And one of the things they said is, like multi-night shows, texting the class sheet and entry numbers out to people before the session each night, or at least having a copy where people can pick them up in the barn office or the entry office, and include any breaks. Like if there's a special exhibition or a special presentation or a ring drag, you're going to water the ring, go ahead and schedule that and get it on there so everybody knows before the show even starts when that's going to happen. So text class counts and session update size, and I say that so it's really good timing that Sarah talked about the new program, because when we used Ring Radar, which is very similar in technical, one of the things people like the most is if you go to Ring Radar, when the show started, you could look on your phone and it tells you every class, how many was in there, you could click on it, see who they were, and as the show progressed, it told you what class we were on, and what the results were from the previous classes, and it was all done in real time. And this new system will do that as well. So people who are following along, they can do it. It wasn't an app, it was very mobile friendly. They can follow along on their phone with the show, know if they're entered in the class, and come run into you if they seem to have missed something or not. The post-class counts, they want to know that. Clearly announce the breaks, the drags, the holds, the schedule changes. That's a big thing that we heard over and over again, that all of a sudden there'll be an exhibition they didn't know about and they have their horse braced and ready to go, or all of a sudden there's going to be a break for one exhibitor, but you've got 15 others standing there ready to go, braced and ready. So, plan those breaks out and communicate them clearly. We heard a lot about making announcements audible in the barn and warm-up area, share your class count sheets, easy to find website, Facebook page with links to your show info, and then welcome emails that they give everybody. So bottom line is, exhibitors want to feel informed and prepared and not surprised when they get to the show. The other thing, number two, now these are in order of how many times they were said. Number two is strong gate and paddock management. And I think Wayne and Frida will tell you, I think it's helped their show. I think that's something y'all done. Margot does it for a lot of shows. I'm not, putting her on the spot saying she'll come to your show and do it, but Margot does it for a lot of shows. But it is invaluable that people, that you have that, because, that's your eyes and ears. If something's going to happen, that's where it's going to happen. And having somebody there who is not only communicating it to center ring, but communicating it to the other exhibitors is crucial. People repeatedly said that the best shows they go to are the ones where exhibitors always know what's happening. And then the second best thing, by far, people believe a good gate person is the difference between a great show and just total chaos. So having that, I know at Columbia, David Sisk is the one kind of back there, get everybody ready and informed. And that's just a role that you've got to have. You can't just solely depend on the announcer to do it. While the announcer can make announcements or tell people what's going on, they can't see what's going on back there. You've got to have that. So other things along this line, strong gate and paddock management, run a tight gate. That's something I always laugh at this. When people say, 2-minute gate, and when you're not at the horse show, that's what everybody wants, but when you get to the horse show, that's the one thing everybody ignores. So I don't know what you know about that, but everybody says it continually. But an organized paddock master calling out what class is in the ring, when they reversed, when they're lined up, if you're 2 classes away from a special exhibition, if you're 3 classes away from a water drag. And I'm surprised at the number of shows that don't even have speakers out where the trailers are. Those are the people who need to know what's going on. So it is one thing to complain about people not being in the ring, but I don't know that we're all the time giving them what they need to be able to be ready and be up there at the ring. Because if you've got 4 speakers in center ring and you've got the announcer coming out of them, you've got the organist coming out of them, and sometimes drowning the announcer out, and then you've got trailers way over there, you can't expect them to hear that and know what's going on. It doesn't work that way. There are a lot of, there's a pretty simple little device you can get, and Randy Sadler, the Shelby Record Shop, has it, that you can plug into your mixer, and it will transmit your signal to like an AM or FM radio station, where people back at their trailers and trucks can turn it to that station, tune it to that station, and listen. It's a pretty inexpensive, simple thing, and I think it's well worth it. staff interaction classes across what's happening, a warm-up ring that's safe and well managed, not only giving you a place to warm up your horse, but somebody back there who's making sure everybody's ready and helping you when you're not and communicating appropriately. Frida, I know this is something you guys have really concentrated on at Lewisburg. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, when we hired Sarah Smith as our academy master, she knows everybody. She goes around to each person and asks them what, when, how they need time, and she's really helped our show go smoother. We've cut an hour off our show in the last 3-4 years with Sarah.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
A great gate staff equals faster show and happier exhibitors. Nobody complains, when you get out there at 11 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock midnight. They're thankful. Just ask the folks at Columbia. Nobody complains when you get done earlier. Right, Callaway? So, number 1 was strong communication. Number 2, good gate paddock management. Number 3 thing that came back is a lot of what Meyer talked about, but hospitality matters. It came up consistently. People spoke about it kind of emotionally almost, that but it's something that keeps them coming back, and it's something that they remember from year to year about horses, or about horse shows. Like I just said, every single person I asked about what show does something different and out of the box, every one of them said North Carolina, and it's no mistake. I mean, they're giving those gift baskets and doing the wine and cheese reception when you get there, and have the VIP tables and all that. So people mention that. They remember stuff. A lot of people, I would say, Margo, would you agree that the most popular thing we do in Tunica is the breakfast in Center Ring every morning? Having the breakfast, the Bloody Mary, and most of our Center Ring when people get there. Some shows used to have like a fish fry for exhibitors, like 2 hours or an hour and a half before the show, and people would show up early and pick up their numbers and have that. And that was always, a memorable time. But especially in the summer, if you've got a horse show, water stations are always appreciated. And if you've got a big cooler of ice down, bottled water somewhere near the inspection area, that's always appreciated. Several people mentioned that. Snacks and drinks, not only for people but for horses. If people pick up a carrot or a peppermint or something for their horse in the entry office, a lot of people mention that. Several shows have that. I've seen shows where they've got a big basket of carrots in there. A lot of times it says donated by Kroger, or donated by Food Line, or whatever, but that was how they did that. Exhibitor welcome bags, several people mentioned, and specifically mentioned what they do in North Carolina with the baskets of stuff. Social events, they can be as simple as ice cream socials, or even stuff that's a fundraiser like dessert auctions. All of that was mentioned as part of it. So bottom line is, people remember how the show made them feel when they leave. Because let's face it, you're not going to win every class. Hopefully you're going to go and you're going to see friends, and you're going to have a good time, and it's going to be a social thing. I mean, I say it all the time. I mean, I think we call it the horse business, but I mean, really the people business is what keep people coming back and keep them buying horses and looking for a new contender for next year. So, number 4, got a couple more things. So number 4, a lot again what Sarah talked about, online entries and easy check-in. People really love online entries, and getting that off their plate early in the day when they're sitting in the air-conditioned comfort of their house, rather than when they get to the show. And if they do online entries, they expect to show up and just pick up their numbers and go. They don't want to be hassled or stand in line or whatever when they get there. But a lot of people mentioned online entries. They said modern entry systems, solve half the problems that it shows. But again, there's a big advantage to just getting that done and being able to get there and make it easy. Online entry systems save info from year to year. Those are very popular. I know these first few shows, it's going to take a little longer at the trainer show to get your entries done, because you're going to put in the information for all of your horses and all of your riders. Luckily, you can start on that this afternoon. You've got time to start working on that. But can you just imagine, like, when you go from the trainer show and you go to Smoky Mountains, and you're not re-entering or retyping a thing, you're just clicking on stuff and putting it in classes. that will be amazing if that's the rest of your year. So get that stuff done, and get it done early. Right now there's no shows going on. Rob is in a fairly good mood, so he's able to help you. I can't promise what will happen at the trainer show, but I'm telling you, right now is the time to start entering all your horses and your riders, and because I know Sarah and Rob both are very eager to make this successful and popular for all of us. So get started now, because I think they would love to help you and love to find the kinks in the program so we can get them worked out. Encourage pre-entries and pre-signed releases. That's something Sarah talked about. Offer pre-entry discounts. So for those of you who that does matter, and you would love to see them in, me personally, I love to look at the class count sheet, several hours before the show and schedule the drag or schedule the water where you think people might need help, or where a class might be canceled. All of this can be done if people make their entries earlier, and you can reward them with a pre-entry discount. So less waiting is a better exhibitor experience. Something that several people talked about, and I know we see it a lot, is some discipline as it comes to your schedule. People want you to stick to a predictable schedule, and several people mentioned don't add classes. Exhibitors really dislike schedule surprises. And in my experience, and I know I've said this a lot, but I mean, when you do something for one person, it lets 100 people know that you've done something for one person, right? when you add a class, and it's not a good look for a show. But keeping class schedules consistent year to year is something people mention. Publish a premium book or class list at least 2 months ahead. Do not add classes once the schedule is posted. Include drags and breaks clearly in the schedules, at least when people show up that night. It's fine to have your schedule like Dee's going to show you for the trainer show, but when people show up on Thursday night at the trainer show, it's helpful to have a list of all the classes and where the breaks are already scheduled in it, so when people pick up their numbers or whatever, that's what they have, and that's what they have at their trailer. They know what's going to happen. Keep sessions reasonable, don't run them until midnight, and build in some breathing room. So a lot of people said predictability of knowing what's going to happen and what to plan for reduces the stress when they get to the show. So this next one I added, it has, people said they need a professional and friendly staff, and really a great announcer is what they want. And for that, I would recommend, Scott or Bobby Sands or Chip Walters or somebody like that. But people notice attitude, and they notice quality, but when you get to the show, having people who know what they're doing. I mean, if you have, Margot or Sarah out of the paddock and getting people, in the ring, and you have a ringmaster like Callaway, and you have somebody, scoring the judges' cards that it's not their first time doing it, all of those things make a huge difference. So, friendly staff, encouraging atmosphere, and people did mention the announcer quite a bit, and I don't think it's because they favor one announcer or another, or say the announcer is has to be some kind of superstar, but it does. That person does keep the flow of the show going, and especially if you're expecting them to announce in the show ring and out of the barns. Having somebody who's on top of that and staying a couple of classes ahead out there is a big deal. Good centering staff and a ring secretary to help support, make sure the right ribbons and awards are given in the correct classes, and class sheets are getting to and from where they need to be. And if somebody shows up and you don't have on your class sheet figuring out who that is, all of that helps your show run better. And the last thing that I'll talk about is parking and arrival flow. Several people mentioned frustrations, especially if they haven't been to your show before. And all of us are trying to get new people to our show every year, right? That's something you want to do. You want to grow your show. We get real comfortable at the rock pile and the celebration, but people mention frustrations when they're coming, and if it's a multi-night show, they have to drop their trailers or park their campers. Myra kind of talked about this a little bit. You got to have people there that are ready to help and direct them, because it is frustrating to pull up to the wrong gate because there was no signage with your trailer behind you and a line of cars, and then they expect you, back up and move and go to the other gate because that's where the trailers are. I think we take a lot of that for granted these days. I mean, I remember in my lifetime, so I mean relatively recently, that, you would go to a horse show, you would go into Eagleville for a horse show. As soon as you hit town, there were signs directing you to the horse show. As soon as you hit the city limits of Eagleville, I mean, there were signs telling you what gate to go to if you're a spectator versus if you pull in a trailer. And most towns did that. They would get you to the showgrounds if you just looked for them. I mean, we didn't, back in those days, we didn't, as my nephew said, back in the 1900s, we didn't have GPS like we do now. If you took a trip, you went to AAA and got the trip ticket. But you would go into town and there would be signage welcoming you to town and directing you to the horse show and telling you which gate is for spectators and which one is for exhibitors and which one's for pulling trailers. And let's face it, I mean, like Lewisburg or Belfast, I mean, if the first few people that get there and go to a trailer park and park badly, you're screwed for the night. I mean, if you don't have somebody watching that, and the first few people that get there just kind of park diagonally and do it convenient for them, you're screwed for the rest of the night. So a lot of people, mention that because it is frustrating when that does not go like they think it should. So first impressions for most of the exhibitors and the people paying our bills, their first impression starts in the parking lot. So I've seen shows that's really popular. Like if you've got an extra golf cart, as those trailers are parking, have somebody parking them, but also somebody coming by, on a golf cart with a big old cooler on the back of iced down bottle of water saying, hey, welcome, here's some entry forms. You don't have to walk up to the office to get them. You can fill them out right here and then take them up there. Here's some entry forms. Here's an ink pen that has our date on it for next year, whatever. And here's a bottle of water. What else can I get for you? But if you think about it, the people, the trainers that really support your show, I mean, that's where their first impression is going to come from. So I thought those were some good ideas that people shared. What else did they say? Did I mention the announcer? Facility comfort, practical details, clean restrooms, keeping the rainwater, of course, having that scheduled, and y'all know, I mean, you can't just start the afternoon before, the hour before, and water it for the first time, as they'll tell you in Columbia. I mean, Mr. Floyd gets up there days ahead of time and starts pouring the water to it right before sunset, letting it soak in, so by the time the show rolls around, you've got a good base and the ring is ready to go. So comfort issues can ruin an otherwise, great show, I feel like. So a few of the other things that were mentioned, and I didn't got way off on this. I'll go back to this. So a few other things that were mentioned that really did make my top 7 list. Youth, family, extras, people love, kids activities, youth judging opportunities, sponsored recognition, a professional photographer. People, expect that, and they love their pictures. I mean, let's face it, we're in a vanity sport here. People will show in a one-horse class and buy an ad that they want it unanimously. So, having a good photographer where they can download those photos is very important to them. That's just good salesmanship, isn't it, Crystal? A couple of other suggestions that people listen. I'm going to tell you, Decant Trail has probably the best checklist that has ever been created for horsemen. I don't know if this is on there, but having a printed rule book at your show, you need it in the office if people have questions. You need it in center ring if the judge has questions. But, they're all online now, so printing out that rule book, putting it in a binder, having it is important. And then people got into classes. So I asked... kind of distill it down. If you could do, 5 things, if you could, take all of the stuff that people have said that we just talked about, and come up with a list of 5 things to do for your show this year. These would be the ones that, according to people's comments, would be the most popular. Text updates and class counts. We talked about if you use this new system, people can look at it on their phone online. Who's in those classes? An excellent paddock master, somebody keeping it flowing out there. Simple hospitality like water and snacks. Online entries and staying on schedule. If you could set 5 goals that, according to this, would make people happy. Those would be the 5 things. I have a handout with all of that on it that we just talked about, but I'd love to open it up if y'all have questions or have a quick idea, suggestion that you want to share, that you've done at your shows or even seen at another show that was very popular. Anyone? Dave, you got anything? You got more shows than anybody. Yeah. All right, well, no questions. Lunch is here, so we timed that perfect. So grab yourself a lunch, stick around, talk to each other, ask questions. Come talk to Queen Bee, Horse Show Management, Dee Cantrell up here, and get her advice. Come pick up the form to apply for the $250 youth grants, the form, what we just talked about, trainer show class sheet, Dee's checklist for putting on a show. Good luck with your shows this year, and thank you for coming today.